Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra 1 week later. Now, I'm actually going on 2 weeks, but I'm going to call it 1 week because I'm not exactly at 2 weeks just yet. Has it been worth the price? Now, keep in mind, I got this thing discounted as I was trading in my S23 Ultra. I got a $750 discount. Not everyone's going to be able to get that discount. It depends on your phone. You also need to get you need to trade in either a top level iPhone or the S23 Ultra to get the top level trade-ins, but they still have pretty good discounts even on other phones that are not, top level. So let's go check them out. Go to Samsung. You can see Z Fold 5, even the S22 is giving you $650. You can get $600 on some of the other ones. So you can still get a pretty massive discount on this phone. So I don't think a lot of people pre-ordering this or even buying this in general are ever going to pay the increased price that it went to at $12.99. So there was an increase. You just don't really notice it because of the trade-ins. At the end of the day, though, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, I think, has definitely been worth the price point. Let's talk about the body and the build. The titanium edges are super clean, although obviously I would have a little mark on there during my video, but you can see right here, just a clean premium look. Yes, definitely took a page out of Apple's book, but at the end of the day, I definitely think it's a really clean premium look, and it definitely feels like the top Android phone. When you're holding this phone and you're using it, you feel like you have the best Android phone on the market today. And that's kind of how it feels every time I use this. Even though there's a lot of other phones, it just feels like the king of Android smartphones. It just has this like super premium, huge screen. Everything's like perfect, like in terms of like just top level premium. So it has the S Pen, which just stands out. And now with the titanium builds, it feels even better. Super long zoom. You just feel like you're not missing anything with this product. So definitely it's pretty darn good. And if you don't really like the boxy shape, just grab yourself the S24 Plus. You'll have basically the more comfortable version of this device right here, but you won't be getting the best cameras compared to the S24 Ultra. So 1 week later, my take on the display, a lot of people are talking about how the vivid mode is not vivid enough and all that jazz. I gotta say, I really like the display. This anti-reflective coating they have on here, it is anti-glare. This display, immediately what struck me is how clear, crystal clear it looks. 3120 by 1440. Yes, the vivid mode right now is not super vivid. The natural is definitely almost the same looking right now, but Samsung has promised they're going to fix that in an upcoming update, and I believe they will. A lot of people complained before about how it's overly vivid, cartoony looking, and Samsung heard that and they fixed it, and now people are saying it's not vivid enough. So I think they went a little bit too far with the natural look, and they're just going to fix it and give you more of a separation between these modes in the next video, in the next upcoming update. So that's going to be good. So they definitely need to fix that. But I really love that they increased the PWM rate. It makes it very easy on the eye. It's tack sharp. The uniform bezels being squared off here. It's just the symmetry is just beautiful. Yes, you can see a little bit more bezel now. It's very, very thin, but you can see a little border, although that's easily rectified when you put a case on. The curved display kind of spilled over the edge, so some people might like that a little more. But personally, from a practical standpoint, I do think the boxy or just a flat display is my favorite all time. This is like my favorite since the Galaxy, the earlier notes before they started putting curved displays on here. And I know they call this the S Ultra now, but it's basically still the Note at heart. We know this is the Note phone. They just don't call it that anymore. But yeah, I definitely really love that display. I also like this is one of the only displays on Android besides Pixel phones that can rotate into landscape. So I really hope they keep this around and don't get rid of this feature, because having a big display like this, it's always nice to have everything rotating in landscape and giving me like a tablet, like a mini little tablet-like experience on here. Also, of course, with the One UI, you are taking advantage of that display as well with the numerous pop view modes that are available. And I definitely use the split screen. I definitely use this stuff quite a bit on this phone, and it just makes it feel like the most productive slab style smartphone on the market today. I will say the punch hole, definitely a little bit, I'm just ready for this to go. I hope the punch hole this is just a full screen in the future. Maybe they can get it in that little bezel. I'm not sure if that's possible. Maybe we can get a UDC quality that is good enough that you would just cover this thing up, but I'm just ready for this to be all screen, although it is very non-distracting. It's not really in the way. It doesn't really bother too much up there. It's just not a big issue. I just think that having the full screen is just like the ultimate display for a phone. That's the only thing that we're missing here is just a bunch of, but you can also hide that within the settings. You can hide that within here somewhere in the navigation. There's so much here. I'm not sure I'm going to find it right now, but you could definitely do that here. You also still have the older navigation styles right here, and you can also touch and hold this home button to do circle search with the AI features. We'll get into that a little bit more. But yeah, the overall display, massive, beautiful, not so vibrant yet. Very natural, very easy on the eye. We also have the eye comfort shield over here that I've been enjoying, extra dim. You can also take 2 fingers and swipe like that to go ahead and just trigger the extra dim. But if you're not the type of person who likes a natural look, you might be a little disappointed with this right now. And the enhanced comfort really dulls it down a little bit. But again, I'm personally digging it because I like displays that don't hurt my eyes. So I'm definitely digging this panel. Although for those people who want saturation, they really need to bring that update. So there's not much to say in the area of software. This is Samsung through and through. Just like last year, you have your Samsung apps. You connect great with Microsoft. The full suite of Samsung add-ons along with Google's AI features like circle search really bring this thing to the next level. You also go into settings here, and now they did add the advanced intelligence section, which is AI basically. Let's go over here and you'll see they do lay out the actual features that come, like the real-time translations and calls, Samsung keyboard, the interpreter, the Samsung notes automatically formatting, Samsung internet gets simple summaries of web pages along with full translations, and the photo editor, in addition to circle search. So there's a lot of AI stuff on here. I haven't used all of it, but I've used a few of it, and it's pretty cool. It really kind of separates this phone from the competition and just makes it feel like just like the next step in smartphones. And I think that kind of makes the iPhone feel a little bit boring, if I'm being totally honest, but I still love the iPhone experience. But iOS 18 is going to bring AI. But for now, the Samsung's just a few months ahead here with the S24 Ultra with its AI feature set. But other than that, the software updates, there hasn't been any so far. iPhone just launched, but I'm still waiting on the upcoming Vivid Mode update that's going to be coming to this. I also think that Samsung's going to improve some of the camera stuff as well in this next update. So stay tuned for that. Maybe we'll cover it in our full review. I've been really impressed with the battery life on this phone as well. The battery life on this phone has been lasting and lasting and lasting. I don't think it's quite as long as like the OnePlus 12 with its larger 5500, 5400 milliamp hour. But with this 5000, with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy, this phone is an all-day beast. It's kind of insane to see how long this can last, because back in the day, I remember Samsung phones were always like having big batteries, but they could never really get through a full day. Nowadays, that's no longer the case, and it actually outlasts my 15 Pro Max. So it's pretty cool to use all these features, have all of this, power in your pocket with the decks and all that stuff, and still easily make it a full day. And if you turn off the higher resolution, you get even longer battery life. It adapts to how you use the phone. So if you turn off this QHD Plus, you get longer battery life. So this thing is just a monster performer in the battery life. Definitely giving you well over 8 hours of screen time. You can also go ahead and charge this pretty quickly with a fast charger, the Samsung Ultra fast charger, but it's not as fast as OnePlus phones. Still, the overall battery experience has been a huge thumbs up so far. So in the area of the camera, I do have to say I'm really liking the 5x zoom. I think it's a more usable distance for just everyday photos. The 10x also doesn't look that much different. I'm going to go ahead and show you some samples here in a minute. It doesn't look that much different. But having, really great video modes like up to 8K, super steady. There's only one thing I'm not digging about this phone. Sometimes it over sharpens. I think they should add a feature within the camera that allows you to sharpen the photos after, or leave it kind of like without the sharpening effect, because Samsung's results are very sharpened and it just looks kind of like you already edited the photo and just turned up the sharpness slider before you even did anything. Now, for some people, if they just want a crystal clear image, they just want to post it on social, that's a great thing. But for those of you who just want the standard image of what you're taking and you want to do your own editing, this kind of does a lot of editing by itself. So it's not my favorite there. But this phone still stands tall as being like the best of the best when it comes to the whole feature set. Having so many like camera features built right in, and just making it very easy, like having the settings right here. intelligent optimization settings, scanning QR codes. We have the advanced picture options here. It's all right here. You don't got to go back into settings like in the iPhone and find it. Shooting methods, it's all right here, and it makes the camera experience allow you to stay within that camera experience. Also, having a 200 megapixel sensor, which takes up a lot of data, does give you at least the option to print some very crystal clear images. So overall, and also the Instagram results look improved and stuff like that. Overall, it's an amazing camera. The palm capture, the front-facing camera is clear. I really like the skin tones on the Samsung phone. Also here, the video you can shoot very well, but it's a little bit close to the face still. They should probably back that camera out a little bit for better vlogging experience, but the actual camera itself is just really top level. I just wish they would give me an option to like let that sharpness be a little bit less post-processing, like just sharpening effect after. I don't know what they want to call it, but just give me an option to dull down or tone down the sharpness a little bit, and give it a button to turn on an option to leave it on if people tend to enjoy that. Let's take a look at some samples. All right, so here's some samples right here. I'm not going to show all of them because I'm saving some of them for the review, but you can see I took a zoomed in on this building, and you could just see the level of detail even up close is incredible. You can even pick up like the lines in the building, and this is where the sharpening does help on zoom photos. You could see right here, zooming up on this building, take a look at the windows, very crystal clear imagery. You can see it messed up a little bit there on the tree, but that wasn't the subject, so it's not really a big issue. But you can see this is where I was standing. You can see the image looks pretty good. And then when I zoom in, just the level of detail on the zoom, it's just insane. So very good. Let's go ahead and turn this into landscape. We'll take a look at a few more. You can see the dynamic range also very good. And you could see just the level of detail. I mean, this stuff was so far away. Slight a bit of noise, but you can still make out what's on screen there. And you could see, take a look at a little bit of video. The video, when you're watching on this phone, it looks like you're shooting your own movie. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I think we're getting to the point where these phones are just putting out results that are better than like almost any average consumer would ever need, or ever even take advantage of. Most people don't even realize the type of power, camera power that they have in their pocket. They just buy the phone, and that's what it is. So let's go ahead, swipe here. You'll see you can pick up people from far. You can pick up signs from far. You could just pick up a lot of stuff. You could even see this bus over here. Well, you can make out that's the 146 bus. You can't really see the text, so there are some things that it tries to sharpen and you can't pick it up all the way, but for the most part, it's really good. I also have this image of a plane that I got early on in my usage with this. So I was standing about right here, like on the ground level, and I was able to pick up that this was a plane. I think this is Alaskan or United Airlines. I can't really tell right there, but look at that. Look at the ability to do that and even make it out. Now, this is when it got further away. I went 100 times zoom, and it kind of started getting blurry, but it was much further away at this point because it was zooming. But what happens is that Samsung improved the ability to keep the camera stable at 100 times zoom. So it's actually more usable now. And you can see when I zoom in here, this is a much closer shot. You can even make out the screws on the box there. So, I mean, it's sharp. These are some crystal clear photos, and I think most people are going to absolutely love the versatility and the images that come out of this camera. Connectivity a week later has been super strong, very fast 5G performance, all gravy there. This phone just, man, it just does everything. I could cover the S Pen. Samsung didn't make a big deal about the S Pen at this event, and that's because it's just kind of built in. I still miss the S21 Ultra's S Pen. It was much larger, although it didn't go in the body. This one just feels small compared to like even using my Tab S9 Ultra. This just feels small. But overall, I really like that it even has this, and it's super usable. It's super user-friendly. It still has all the S Pen features you're used to. This thing is just everything in the kitchen sink, man. You can't really ask for more. I mean, I could ask for getting this punch hole out of there just to make it better. I mean, if they really want to get really into this, they could really try to make this bezel-less completely, but I don't know if that'll happen. You know, you could probably make the cameras better always, Battery can get bigger. We're still at a 5,000. We go to like a 5,500 or a 6,000 in the future. Screen could get larger. I mean, I always take a larger screen. I'll take a 7-inch. Will you take a 7-inch screen? Comment down below. But overall, man, this phone is just insane. There's just, what do you want me to say? Like, you can't really knock it. It just does so much things so well. The main thing that I think would turn people off from this phone is that they have a subjectivity bias. They don't like Samsung, or they don't like the price of this phone. They don't want to pay this much money, or they don't like this big boxy shape. And in that case, you have the smaller S24 and the S24 Plus, which are most of what this does. But yeah, this is top dog for sure. This is a king once again. That's how I feel a week later. Now, I'll give you my full review in the future. I want to let them get that update out. I'll show the actual samples on screen in the future of the camera. I'm going to take more photos, more videos, and we'll bring a more in-depth review. This was just my in-depth 1 week. So I'll catch you on the next one. Let me know your thoughts. Do you have an S24 Ultra? Do you plan on buying one? Are you excited? Are you not? Let me know in the comments. I'll catch you on the next one. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.